We have our hotspot brothers live. I'm live on my YouTube channel. We live on Twitch. Make sure you guys, if you're on the RBN channel, because you guys know we're doing this carryover since we are our channel is under attack on RBN. Make sure you guys switch over to the Nick Crew channel if you're watching the RBN. We will be officially cutting the RBN stream off around 15 minutes so you guys can relocate to the new stream. But we have a lot to discuss. You guys see, this is my breakdown of the Pope accepting the peace proposal. Now the big breaking news is that Hamas is now agreeing to this proposal, and their statement is actually very smart. Is actually very politically calculating, and what they agreed to is essentially the same peace proposal that they put on the table in the very beginning. But don't worry, I'm gonna explain that here very soon. And there's a reason why Israelis are in absolute panic mode, and now they're furious over Donald Trump. We're gonna cover this. We have a lot of fast moving parts in the story. I have a lot of thoughts as well. I just want to say this because I wish the best for our Palestinian brothers and sisters, and we have to understand that the job is now on us. It's time for them to do whatever best for them to take care of themselves after the trauma they went through. Zionism is a Western problem, my friends. It is upon us now to help alleviate the pain and the struggle that our Palestinian brothers and sisters have been going through, that our Lebanese brothers and sisters have been going through, that our Syrian brothers and sisters have been going through, by being the enemy from within and destroying this Zionist scourge. Because you guys realize that Israel has killed 100 Palestinians per day. Every single day in Donald Trump's administration, Israel murdered 100 Palestinians, and it doesn't even get headlines. People don't even talk about it like that, Niko. I'm gonna bring my major panel in on this thought. I have a lot to say. We got a lot to break down. We have our hotspot brothers. You guys know I release about 4 or 5 hotspot videos a week. I love it. I think it has done wonders for me and helped me expand my skill as a geopolitical analyst. I believe I love working with hotspot, and I love the work that Niko House, my hotspot brother, independent journalist, and we also have David Hundayan, who we have with us at the Hotspot Live, founder of West African Weekly. It's great to have you guys on. What's popping, Niko? What's popping, David?
Man, whew, it's been a week, dog. It has been a week.
What's going on, man?
Hey, look, it's not every week that you out here like you talking about peace agreements actually potentially going through between Hamas and Israel, and Candace Owens actually seemingly having more integrity than the entirety of the conservative movement. That's not where I thought I was going to end up at this week. And,
you got
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get me caught up because I know you've been doing great coverage on that. Man. And bro, Niko has been going crazy with his Erica Kirk videos on YouTube. Bruh. They've been going crazy. So Niko, you gotta get me caught up to speed on some of this stuff.
Man, look, like I said, it was like the one thing that like just as a random aside, the one thing that really caught me off guard was like the fact that all these conservatives are acting weird, that she is dedicating her time as an investigative journalist trying to actually solve the murder of her friend instead of gaslighting the world and pretending that all the left is to blame for the murder of a guy. And they haven't even begun to prove that this Tyler Robinson kid is innocent. Like she's not engaging in that theater. Instead, she's actually trying to solve the investigation and figure out what really happened. And they think she's the weird one. And I'm like, no, y'all are weird. Y'all are weird for actually jumping to the conclusion that all leftists are guilty for a crime that was committed in which you don't even know who was actually guilty of committing.
The left doesn't engage in political assassination. That's the tool of the right. That's the tool of the capitalist class.
Like some people would argue that's one of our weaknesses. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying some people would argue it.
David, what's popping? What's your thoughts, man? U.S. politics is crazy, isn't it, man?
Yeah, it's like watching a circus show from the outside, especially because from this perspective, it all looks so scripted. It's clear what is going on. From an outsider's perspective, it's basically colonizer versus colonized, and then an infinite amount of bullshit in between to hide the fact that it's colonizer versus colonized. So it's sometimes entertaining, but sometimes, like this week, it's just been exhausting just watching it all play out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm glad we have 3 different perspectives at Hotspot because as Niko's killing it with the Erica Kirk coverage, covering things that a lot of people missed. David is killing it, covering what's going on in East and West Africa. Like it's great that we have different perspectives because there's way too much to cover on your own. And I want
Hell
to
yeah, bro. Y'all used to, boy, y'all don't even know my struggle back in the day. They was hitting me with like 3, hey, man, so this happened, this happened, this happened. You can talk about all 3. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, this about to be a long day. Now I got y'all to help me out. I can just go ahead and knock out one and relax for a little bit. Why you need to kill me? 2, 3 videos a day.
If you guys not already, make sure you guys follow us at Hotspot. It's Hotspot, where you can find the video. You guys see the videos I post on our channel all the time. My Hotspot videos. David does great analysis and breakdown about. I was about to say about Africa, but geopolitics in general. I think you cover a wide range of issues. And Niko, bro,
your ability to connect, your ability to connect like all of these major countries and the way they interact with one another, and specifically how it affects Africans, bro. It's like elite. It's because nobody else can do it. I was explaining to my wife. I'm like, yeah, like, he's like actually the best at what he does. She's like, oh, like he's really good. I said, no. I'm not exaggerating. He's literally the best at what he does. There's no one else in the world who's been able to do what he does. And I would know because I'll be looking around and they'll get part of the story, but David's the only one who really gives you the entire picture every time. It's amazing to see.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. For us chopping up live here, feel free to chime in anytime, guys. I'm going to just reset the stage on the main story of the day and this is yesterday. You guys realize that we don't get as much footage. We don't see as many horrific videos of Palestinians dying, and it's very depressing why that is. Because Israel has systemically murdered all the Palestinian journalists in Gaza. That's another reason why Israel is allowed to get away with slaughtering around 100 Palestinians per day. And then you have the genocide deniers. You had the Pete Buttigieg who's still like repeating the bunk 40 beheaded baby nonsense. As they engage in genocide denial, they never ask themselves the simple question why Israel doesn't allow journalists into Gaza. Because if Israel was the most ethical army, wouldn't you want journalists to document that?
Right, to prove your point.
So, all right, let me read this. It said at least 60 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks across Gaza since dawn, including 37 in Gaza City. And this is what the UNRWA commissioner said. And you had Ben Gvir and you had Likud party members that came out publicly and said they accomplished something amazing during this war because they were able to get away with killing 100 Palestinians per day and no one blinks an eye anymore. You guys see the level in which they devalue the lives of Palestinians? That's why I, from the outside, especially as someone who lived in the empire, I will always be extremely critical of every single one of these peace deals because Israel breaks peace deals like they breathe.
Bro, yeah, they literally, I mean, how many times have they agreed to a temporary ceasefire? And like an hour after you get the breaking news that the temporary ceasefire was agreed to, you get immediately you get news. Yeah, Israel's bombed the hospital. So yeah, there's no peace deal.
But I will be very critical of every one of these peace deals, like I have been. But I will never criticize my Palestinian brothers and sisters for looking for relief. And I'll never. It's so uncouth when I see people do that in the West. You live in the United States and you think you're going to lecture the Palestinian resistance. Like, bro, your taxpayer money is killing them. You don't have the right to do that. I will continue to be critical of these peace deals, but I 100% understand why anyone in Gaza want to ring the bell because I think it's upon us now. It's our job to have an international uprising against Zionism. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the Hamas statement because at first when I saw this headline, I panicked because I've been covering this peace deal. I'm like, fuck, this is horrible. But Hamas is actually very strategic. Like, calm down. Like, you can see my timeline. You can notice the exact moment I panicked. I took like 10 minutes. I read the statement. I analyzed it a little bit more. And you realize that Hamas is actually being very, very intelligent. But before I get into that, David, Niko, do you have any other initial impressions before I move on, and I'm gonna read Hamas' statement in full. But before I do that, I want to give you guys a chance to chime in.
I would like to add to the point where we can't be critical of Palestinians doing whatever they can to try and achieve like even temporary, fleeting moments of peace when you're constantly being bombarded. And it's also important to remember the original reason that October 7th happened was to get prisoners, really hostages, back from Israel. And so I know we like to think of these hostages in terms of numbers because people, after a while, you just kind of disconnect. It's just so overwhelming. But like every single hostage that's released, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's father, that's somebody who is suffering and being tortured every single day that will no longer experience that. Like that is victory. It isn't total and complete victory, but that is victory for Palestine and Palestinians in Gaza because the original goal for all of this was to what? What was to get those Palestinians back home. And every time they can achieve that, they're not stupid. That's not saying that they trust Israel will honor all of the terms of the agreement. But what it does do is guarantee that somebody's life will return back to some form of normalcy, or these Palestinians will get to return home to their families. And I think that that's important context to remember.
David, you have any thoughts before I continue? And then after David chime in, guys, if you're on the RBN channel, and in the description, I have a link. I got it in all caps. It's impossible to miss. I have the link to this stream on my real channel now, the one that I will be streaming on now. So if you're on the RBN channel, take this time to start transferring over. But before I move on, David, you have any other thoughts before I get into the Hamas statement?
Well, I mean, so over the past week, I'm sure you've seen that the Nigerian Christian meme has become a sort of defense mechanism for the empire to shield itself from obviously the accusation of genocide, which is no longer an accusation. I mean, the UN itself has come out and said this is a genocide. What I found very interesting in all of this is that in addition to the obvious use of the supposed Nigerian Christian genocide as a deflection tactic, I mean, it's so blindingly obvious. But in addition to that, even in the midst of trying to deflect, using other people's pain, real or imagined, as a deflection tactic, these guys are still trying to push an angle that sort of advocates for military invasion of Africa. So I don't know if you saw a tweet by Eric Prince, the founder of Blackwater, yesterday. He was responding to the new American Pope, and he said something to the effect of, "Oh, stop talking about Palestine, talk about Nigerian Christians instead, and hire me to go to Nigeria and protect the Christians." If you know what that means. Oh yeah, there's an actual tweet.
That boy trying to do a job interview. Oh Lord, baby Jesus. He said,
so if you go to my Twitter handle, it's the last tweet that I quoted. You can literally see him saying that. This is the guy who went on a podcast last year and said Africa needs to be recolonized. That that's the US, we need to put on our colonial hats and just go in and take. Like he said that. So literally, in the midst of trying to use this group of people whom most people cannot locate on a map as a shielding mechanism for the genocide that is being carried out in Gaza, even in the midst of that, the groundwork is being laid for sort of Gaza Part 2 on the African continent.
I knew something was up because when Patrick Bet David, that man put out a video, it immediately went viral yesterday. I'm like, why the hell is Patrick Bet David talking about Nigeria? There's been so many conversations about Nigeria over the last year, like major conversations, and all of a sudden, oh, look at what's happening to the Christians in Nigeria. Oh, shit, here we go. Gotta go liberate them. Time to go liberate them. Y'all must got an election coming up, huh?
2027.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
So I'm gonna read the Hamas statement because I don't think you guys had time to check it out. I don't know if how many people who watch the stream did because it's very breaking. So I'm gonna read the statement and we're gonna analyze it. But you know that Hamas has pulled a great political chess move because I saw Lindsey Graham is in complete meltdown mode right now. The GOP and Zionists, I was skimming as you guys were talking because I'm trying to analyze how people are accepting it. Bro, the entire right, the MAGA Zionists, they're in shambles. Israelis are in shambles. Lindsey Graham was like, this is Hamas essentially declining the deal. Like, he's trying his best to kill this deal. So Hamas actually put these people in political checkmate. Let's get to the statement. Actually, if you're on the RBN side, I'm about to end the stream now. Make sure you click the link in the description. That will carry you over to the other YouTube channel. YouTube channel is just my backup. I'm more focused on building X. I'm even on Kick now. I'm on fucking Kick, Rumble.
Really?
Yeah, I looked into Kick. I see what these kids talking about on Kick. So we're live on Kick now. If you're just obsessed and you're addicted to YouTube, my personal YouTube channel is there, but RBN, we are decentralizing from the YouTube channel. We can't rely on these capitalist tools. We are more decentralized, and we more move into a left think tank in organizing for a position. But that's a conversation for another day. I'm gonna end the stream on RBN. Make sure you guys check us out on either my personal YouTube channel or the other links we have. 1 second. All right. So here's the statement from Hamas. I'm going to read it. Feel free to interrupt if you guys have any thoughts. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read it. In order to stop the aggression and the war of extermination that our steadfast people in the Gaza Strip are being subjected to, and in accordance to national responsibility, in order to preserve our people's constant rights. See, you guys see the way they phrase it. You can tell every single line, every single word that Hamas is writing is well thought out. And they reiterate, they believe that Palestinians should have sovereignty and a national identity. You can see the exact moment where Lindsey Graham starts to melt down while he reads this statement, but let me continue. According to national responsibility, in order to preserve our people's constant rights and supreme interests, the Islamic resistance movement, Hamas, has conducted in-depth consultations with the leadership institutions, extensive consultations with Palestinian forces and factions, and consultations with brotherly mediators and friends to reach a responsible position in dealing with the United States President Donald Trump's plan. After a thorough study, the movement had taken its decision and handed its response to the mediators as follows. Hamas appreciates the Arab, Islamic, and international efforts and those of U.S. President Donald Trump calling for an end of the war in Gaza, prisoner exchange and immediate entry of aid, rejection of the occupation, and rejection of the displacement of our Palestinian people. In this context, and in order to achieve a ceasefire and a complete withdrawal from Gaza, the movement announces its approval of release of all Israeli prisoners, alive or dead, according to the exchange formula included in President Trump's proposal, provided that field conditions are, this is important, guys, provided that field conditions are available for the exchange process. Keep that in mind.
Man. That's smooth.
If you had thoughts, feel free,
because
but keep that in mind.
It's got to be because Israel said that they would pull out their troops over the course of like 6 to 12 months. Like, it's basically like we're going to leave it up to, because what do they like to do? They like to say we're going to do a prisoner exchange while they leave their troops there. But what they're saying is, oh, if y'all motherfuckers keep bombing, well, there ain't going to be no truth. There ain't going to be no exchange, basically, is what it sounds like.
When you read this statement, it's clear that Hamas learned from history. They learned from Israeli patterns. So they even setting up Israel to make a giant mistake. You know, they love a violating ceasefire. So Hamas is already putting out there that, hey, man, we down, but we are subject to changes if Israel violates the ceasefire, like we all know they will. Like Benjamin Netanyahu said he would. Like he was celebrating on the Israeli media, like, nigga, we're not following this. You know who I am. You know who I am.
I mean, they just kidnap. They kidnapped and released some of them, but why would you kidnap the flotilla? Like, you went out of your way to break international law to intercept that flotilla that was supposed to deliver aid into Gaza, and part of the ceasefire agreement is to allow aid to flow into Gaza. Like, you're already breaking the ceasefire deal already.
Very well said. I'm gonna continue. And it only get better from here, because this is why I was like, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But it gets better. And I'm gonna show you guys some Zionist meltdowns. And I'm gonna find some more as you guys are speaking, because I'm already loving the reactions I'm seeing. In this context, you guys have to understand, my mindset is I'm ready to fight these motherfuckers for the rest of my life. I don't want the Palestinian resistance to rest. That's my position, I guess, as an American. So if I'm seeing Palestinians celebrate and I'm seeing Israelis dread this, I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, because I think that's good, right? But let's continue to analyze this with realistic expectations. In its context, the movement confirmed its readiness to immediately enter into negotiations through mediators to discuss details. The movement also renews its approval. Now, this is an important one. The movement also renewed its approval for handing over Gaza's administration to a Palestinian body of independence based on Palestinian national consensus. So that whole Tony Blair shit they were talking about, Hamas was like, nah, we cool on that. David, Niko, do you have any other initial thoughts before I continue?
No, I mean that's basically they want to make sure, like first of all, y'all forgot y'all put us here. I mean, there was somebody else, and y'all decided to go out of y'all way to put us here. But we have no problem with turning over power. It's just going to be turned over at the behest of the Palestinian people and put in the hands of the Palestinian people. So that whole Trump Gaza nonsense y'all was talking about, yeah, that's not happening. It's not going to fly. I mean, they're kind of like setting the terms of the ceasefire themselves, and to some degree, daring Netanyahu to break the ceasefire, or really daring Trump to complain about it, because basically what you're going to end up exposing ultimately is like, oh, what's the big deal with Palestinians controlling the outcome of their own government? Well, we want control.
Exactly, Niko.
They're going to expose themselves.
And the reason why I immediately became more optimistic when I was in doomer mode before, when I read this, because this is actually a great strategic move. And let me know if you agree or disagree with this. Because Hamas' position has always been, despite what Western Islamic phobic propagandists claim, they said it was always willing to lay down arms for a Palestinian state. That has been their stated position. And they are willing to fight for a Palestinian state. Now, conditions since that, and since the beginning of this war, had changed dramatically. Where you have Western NATO states in support of a Palestinian state. You have officials in the UK calling for a Palestinian state, Canada calling for a Palestinian state. You have one of the largest political parties where the majority of their voters, I'm talking about the Democrat Party, they're in support of a Palestinian state. So Hamas understands that they're in a position to put pressure on the Western leaders. Question, when have Palestinians ever been in this position? Where political pressure goes back home, where Prime Minister Meloni in Italy is about to have a fucking general strike, and her streets are about to burn if they don't support a Palestinian state. So Hamas have international leverage, the likes they never had before, and they realize it. That's why
look,
go ahead, Niko.
They gotta pay $7,000 to shitty influencers just to get people on their side. Post. Or unless you're Brandon Tatum, who's out here licking Netanyahu's nutsack for free. Like, that's crazy, bro. I know Tatum was pissed when he saw that.
Imagine doing that for free after seeing what Brand put on the table.
We only got spit on one time when I visited Israel, dog. Like, what?
David, do you have any initial thoughts? I'm gonna share more of my thought process on this, because I went from extremely negative and doomer to extremely positive in like 15 minutes. Because this is great. Because Hamas is now, and history will judge whether this will be successful. I'm not sure if it's going to be successful or not. But they, instead of engaging in armed resistance for the Palestinian state, they're now going to apply international pressure to force a Palestinian state when they never been in that position before. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? David, do you have any thoughts? Niko, do you have any thoughts before I read the last part of the statement?
I agree with you.
My immediate thought is Israel is simply going to bomb the shit out of them. Like, they're going to do what they've always done, basically. And this peace agreement is going to fall flat on its face. I think that much is clear.
Yeah, I think
Israel
that's
literally.
That's true too.
Israel has one trick. It does one thing, and it does it 10,000 times, and they literally know no other way. So I don't see why anything's gonna be different now.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, David. And that's why Hamas put themselves in this position, because Arab leaders came out in support of this Gaza enslavement plan. You have all these European leaders that came out in support of this Gaza enslavement plan. So Hamas flipped the pressure. The pressure was on Hamas to accept it. Now the pressure flips back on Israel. So, David, we know that Israel is going to violate the ceasefire, but then imagine the international outrage. Imagine the position that put Hamas over Israel, where it becomes clear that Hamas was the one who wanted peace, while Israel directly violated the ceasefire that even the sellout Arab leaders supported. So you're 100% right, David. But this is why what Hamas did was, in my opinion, feel free, I'm interested in pushback, but this is why I believe, in my opinion, I think they made an amazing move here. And I would love for my audience to push back on me if you guys disagree with that. But Niko, feel free if you have any other thoughts before I move on.
Oh, I was going to say not only international pressure, but they put pressure on Israelis because Israelis are tired. They don't want to fight. I don't know if y'all have seen like all the Israeli reservists basically getting caught up and being like, yeah, man, we ain't going. like we ain't going. They're tired. They're not like, because Israel's only ability to destroy Gaza relies in their missile, their long range weaponry. Basically, they do not like engaging directly with Hamas freedom fighters, and like when they do engage, you're losing more than you're winning. Like you snipe, and that's a problem. Like they know they're not prepared to fight war, bro. This is why how many times have I said Israel will never fight a war with Iran by itself, ever. They won't march troops from Israel to Iran because they will get their asses handed to them, because there is not an Israeli that is existing and alive that has fought a ground war with another army.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
Yeah.
So like the morale is dying. Israel, you see protests in Israel happening every day, and it is because they love Palestine. It's because they're tired of Netanyahu. They're tired, like they're under constant threat. Before, when they would be like, "Oh, we're surrounded by enemies," and they're playing victim, and like they were playing victim and exaggerating a little bit. Now they are really surrounded by enemies. They are under constant threat, and for the first time, they learned the hard way: Iran has hypersonic missiles that can knock us off, and we didn't even know. Yeah, and those are the ones you just found out about. So they found out that the world is more prepared to deal with Israel militarily than they had originally thought. They are tired and they are exhausted. So it isn't just from the international community now that Netanyahu and his administration are receiving pressure, but this puts pressure from inside of Israel too. Yes. Which is why I feel like he'll feel a little bit more like a little bit more judicious in how he goes about dealing with this peace agreement.
Yes, Niko. Now it's on us, man, because now it's time for the people who live under Zionist occupation. Like if you're in the UK, your society's cooked. They arrested 30 people a day.
Bro, yeah. Shit, boy, I thought US is cooked. UK, y'all getting
you got
cooked for social media posts.
They said, "Watch what you post," in a very ominous way.
Yeah.
And then you have Germany. Germany is literally ran by BlackRock. The prime minister directly from BlackRock. Larry Ellison, I have a hotspot video that came out today. Larry Ellison is literally our shadow president. We live under Zionist occupation.
Is it really a shadow president, Nick? Is it shadow at this point? Like he's not even trying to pretend like he don't run the country at this point.
It's on us now, fam. That's the point I'm making. It's on us. Let me finish the statement, because even as I analyze this even more, and as I see more reaction coming in, I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to go. I have Aaron Good from the American Exceptionalist podcast. Come join me on Monday. That's a great guest to have me on Monday. So me and Aaron Good, we're going to analyze the result of this over the weekend. If you're new, if you're watching this, make sure you like and subscribe. Good news, because you guys don't only care about the numbers across all platforms. We have 1,000 across all platforms now, according to this app on StreamYard. So I'm glad that we have the RBN homies following us across platforms, and that's our main focus now. We're trying to focus on as many platforms as we can because we can't rely on YouTube. So I appreciate everyone who's watching on these. Look, I see people on Rumble, I see people on Kick, I see X comments. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I have one more paragraph I want to read. I stopped there because this paragraph, the one I just read, I believe is literally fighting chess. I think this is what that last paragraph is what making Zionists panic more than anything, because that's them essentially sideswiping that Tony Blair bullshit. You know that whole Tony Blair nonsense? Nah, we're not doing that. And watch the international community support us. Because even the sellouts, I bet you like the people like the Pope, all the Arab leaders, all the people who support the plan in the first place because they are cowardly sellouts, I bet you they're not in love with that detail. You know what I mean? It's not like the people who supported the Gaza peace plan are Tony Blair fans. You think they're going to be upset that Hamas said we don't want Tony Blair? No. So Hamas knew that that's something they can easily throw off the table and they still would seem reasonable. Maybe I'm being a little bit too.
There's no, that's like the most reasonable. Like, hey man, so the only way we're going to give hostages is if you're not blowing shit up, and we want to make sure that Palestinians are running Palestine. I think that's like the most reasonable thing you could possibly ask for. And you're going to look like an asshole if you come out and be like, "That's insane!" Like you're going to look like, you're going to look like Lindsey Graham. That's what you're going to look like. And who wants to look like Lindsey Graham?
And actually, speaking of, I just saw this. So look at this. This is already hinted towards it, but this is Lindsey Graham reaction before I finish it. Hamas' recent response to President Trump's plan to end the war, which Israel has accepted, not really true, but I can tell later, is unfortunately predictable. A classic yes, but. No disarmament, keeping Gaza under Palestinian control, and tying hostage releases to negotiations. Now, the three reasons why Lindsey Graham is melting down is why I was skeptical.
Hold up. Tying hostage release to negotiations, isn't that literally the entire ceasefire deal? Tying hostage?
Isn't that how this shit works? Isn't that how diplomacy
works? Trying to negotiate. The audacity.
I just thought it was very interesting. He said, keeping Gaza under Palestinian control. That's an incredible condition.
Palestine under Palestinian control. The hell you think this is? Democracy?
So in a scenario where we never been before, remember it, like Palestine always been drowning, but now we in a scenario where Israel is isolated like never before, where Europeans are hitting the street, general strikes are being planned. Because flotillas are flying into Gaza. Bro. In this situation, who do you think is going to win the battle ideas? The people who say, hey, man, we're willing to lay down our arms and give up political power for peace, or the person saying, you can have Palestinians in control of Gaza? Let's fight for Lindsey Graham. I want to see Lindsey Graham everywhere. I want his statements to be plastered all over the world. Because this is what Hamas is expecting. Go ahead, Nick. I know you want to chime in. Feel free.
No, I just want to he's like, oh, it's a classic yes, but isn't that's like a negotiation? Like, yeah, man, I'm negotiating for my salary. Like, hey, man, yeah, I'm cool with this and this, but I would like this and this as well. Is that reasonable? Like, yeah, it's a fucking negotiation. Classic yes, but yes, it's classic for negotiation.
And they full of shit because what he accused Hamas of doing is exactly what Israel did. Remember how Arab countries was upset? Remember, Arab countries was upset because Benjamin Netanyahu made revisions to the Gaza peace plan that they didn't approve of. So Trump gave the Gaza peace plan. Go ahead, Niko.
I was going to just say also the difference between yes but and for Palestinians and yes but with Israel. So like the yes but with Palestinians, hey, like we just want to make sure Palestine's run by Palestine's run by Palestinians. The yes but for Israel was we just want to make sure that we can try to assassinate all Hamas leaders in the middle of a peace negotiation in another country. Do you see the difference between the yes buts here? Like,
that's a great point.
Let's negotiate, but after we try to fucking take out your entire leadership.
That's a great point, Niko.
Like, apples and oranges here, guys.
Great point, Niko. This, in essence, is a rejection by Hamas. That's not how Donald Trump read it. Because Donald Trump was so ecstatic over Hamas, he even posted Hamas' statement because this motherfucker is a boomer. Like, I don't know if he thought he was posting his statement. You know how he called out Pam Bondi in public? which was clearly meant to be a DM. He was like, Bonnie, we're supposed to go after my political enemies. So essentially, this boomer reposted Hamas's letter, which called out Israel for committing a genocide and used terms like occupation. So thank you, genius. So Donald Trump is ecstatic about this. And he said, I'm going to share this now. Since here's Donald Trump tweet.
You're going to double down now because if he said it, you know how Trump is. Trump don't tweet some shit out and then like Renee, he's like, man, shit, now I gotta pretend like I did this shit on purpose.
Hey, bro, Niko, Benjamin Netanyahu is about to get Trump's ass. Bro, the Likud party is about to get his ass because already kind of hinted towards this. We're going through the story in a particular order. I want to present it to you guys. Because as I mentioned earlier, Israelis are furious. They are furious at Donald Trump. Because I explained to you guys how Hamas was setting a political trap for Israel, right? That is what we've been discussing for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Donald Trump dove right into it. This motherfucker took Hamas's bait perfectly. Exactly how Hamas. So Donald Trump now put pressure on Israel themselves. Look, based on the statement just issued by Hamas, I believe they are ready for a lasting peace. So is it Donald Trump being thirsty for a peace prize? Look, Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza. So immediately Israel checkmated. Because now you got your homies going after you. Even your homies telling you to calm down.
Are you tripping?
You guys see what happened here? Now you guys see why I flipped on my. First I was super doomer. Now you guys see why I'm motherfucking super static about what's going on here.
Now. I see it.
Yeah.
Now. I see it.
Yeah, this is like right after he like let Netanyahu hang out in the White House, like open the door for him, like he was on a date and shit. And like the next day, he's like, "Hey man, y'all gotta chill, man. I know I ain't said that in front of the camera and all that, but like now." Like, because the whole world's watching, and I just accidentally reposted Hamas' statement. Double down time.
In an era where Americans are worried about Israeli influence on our government, what do you think will happen to the American populace opinion of Israel if they see their president of the United States tell Israel to stop bombing Hamas in Gaza after Hamas accepted the peace proposal? And like David said, I think David's 100% right. Israel is going to violate this. But how bad will that make Israel look in American eyes that the MAGA Zionist president told them not to bomb Gaza and they still violate the peace deal?
What did Laura Loomer responded to this?
Oh, we should look it up live. I'm sure she having a
continue. I got you.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I need you to look into that for me because I'm sure Laura Loomer.
Because what? For Qatar tweet. Oh, it's because is Trump being secretly funded by Qatar?
I'm also going to show you guys how there's Israeli meltdown over this. I still got to finish the last paragraph of the Hamas statement, but I'm going to show you guys what Donald Trump immediately loved it. So I don't know if they analyzed it like this, like we did. I don't know if Trump just wanted to say he finally ended the conflict, so he didn't give a fuck with him. I don't know what the fuck Donald Trump thought he was doing when he wrote this tweet.
It's Cope from Laura Loomer.
What she say?
Here is so, oh my God, y'all. Oh, you gonna love this, Nick.
Can you share the screen, Niko? Are you able to share screen?
I believe I can. I can, because you're gonna love this, especially given that.
Yeah, anything you find, man, feel free. You can put it up on the screen if you find some shit that we covering this live together. So I'm sure you're gonna find some.
You see me?
Let me see if I put it up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put yours up. Here it is.
Yeah. So this is what Laura Loomer had to say about Trump's tweet. Here is a response Hamas sent to President Trump about his proposed peace deal. White House tweeted, but then deleted.
Oh, he deleted it. Oh, that's hilarious.
And then clarified it. She don't even know. There's no way. There's no way she even figured out like that Trump came out and was like, nah, actually Hamas like is perfectly reasonable. And I actually think that they're ready for peace. Because this was an hour ago. She tweeted this out an hour ago, like braggadociously, as if it was like some sort of gotcha. Not realizing Trump is like, Hamas is ready for lasting peace and Israel needs to stop bombing.
And we just scratching the surface, guys.
Yeah, what happened when that dick you've been sucking goes flaccid right at when it's in your mouth? Damn. Means you ain't. Hey, listen now. He said you ain't sucking it right. That's what they said.
I'm so glad we had Hotspot Brothers live to cover this shit live, bro, because this is
it's crazy. Like it's like an hour ago, you didn't bother to check if Trump actually clarified his statement before you put that out.
All All right, let me. I'm gonna finish the Trump. I'm gonna finish the Trump statement. I'm gonna go back to Hamas statement and finish it, and then I'm gonna show you guys the immediate Israeli reaction, which is as glorious as you expect it would be. They realized they've been checkmated, and this. I love what Hamas did in response to this because they had all the pressure on them. The Arab League was like, Hamas, you gotta accept this deal. The Pope sold them out. The Pope said you gotta accept this deal, and Hamas like, all right, bet, watch this. That was. Maybe I'm being too optimistic now, but I think this was an amazing move by Hamas. So here's Donald Trump. Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, I believe they're ready for a lasting peace. Israel just must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. We are already in discussions on the detail to be worked out. You guys see how Donald Trump immediately undercut the Israelis?
Wow.
Bro, he literally is like, dog. Ooh, I know Netanyahu mad. And he waited till he left. He waited till Netanyahu went out. Like, hey, man, got something for your ass. I feel like it was weird whenever he asked Netanyahu if he wanted questions from the press. And Netanyahu was like, nah, man. Like, well, you want something? You want a question from somebody you like, at least? He's like, nah, I'm good, dog, I'm good. And he waited until Netanyahu left and then dropped a bomb on Israel, ironically. Like, because that's, no, bro, like, this is a, you have to understand. So we've learned, so can I put this in the context of what has happened over the last week, Nick, on the conservative side? Candace Owens has decided she's going to go to war with TPUSA and has actually been withholding information because everybody thought she was like seeking drama. But based off of what she said, I understand now why she didn't put out everything the way she wanted to. She was giving you executives and people that are probably still some of her friends the opportunity to tell the truth. And she came out and said, so I just want simple yes or no answers. Did Charlie Kirk not come to you guys and say, I have no choice but to cut all ties with the pro-Israel movement, specifically because of Jewish donors? It's just yes or no. That's what she said. She said, did Charlie Kirk not come to me and plan on bringing me back to TPUSA 48 hours before he was shot in the neck? And the reason why he did, and the reason why he chose to do that is because he got tired of the Israeli lobby attempting to bully him into not bringing her back. And she was like, it's a yes or a no. Is it true or is it not? I'm over, and she's like, and you know, if I'm asking, it's because I got the receipts, but I'm gonna give y'all time to tell the truth. And because my opinion has been for since this came out, like, okay, just because Charlie was questioning, that doesn't necessarily mean that was the reason he got killed. It could have served as like a viable excuse to justify split. Because I found it weird how he was killed, and then right as the entire world was coming together, right as both sides were coming together, all of a sudden he's killed, the left's to blame, and now we're arguing over who's the violent side, arguing over who really killed Charlie, instead of what was happening right before, which is everybody going after Israel. Everybody realizing that the genocidal nature of this fucking psychotic Zionist state. And you got Megyn Kelly questioning him, Charlie Kirk questioning him, Patrick Bet-David getting ripped in the comment sections just for interviewing Netanyahu. I mean, they were getting worked. And Charlie Kirk get hit, and now all of a sudden focus changes. But what happens? Candace says what Charlie Kirk really felt. So does Tucker, comes out and says, yeah, actually, Charlie didn't even fucking like Bibi Netanyahu. So there's that. We're finding out he rejected $150 million from Israel, which is a whole different thing. And I'm like, who at this point, because Candace Owens is, in my opinion, extremely more popular and more reasonable and level-headed and definitely was closer to Charlie. And she has gotten more popular, ladies and gentlemen, after going after Israel. Even Tucker Carlson, when he finally saw the light, he got more popular after going after Israel. So now it's a question of the bottom line. Because when I found out I can leave Ben Shapiro's network and get more popular, when I found out that TP USA is willing to bring me back after going after Israel because they saw me blow the fuck up after. Now, do you not think that Trump is paying attention to all this right now?
That's why
he see with the wind blowing. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, man, hey, bro, I'm sorry, but you not the shit anymore. You not the guy no more, man. What you want me to do? You know how this game is played. You've always known who I am, BB. You've always known who I am. When it's time to talk shit about Kim Jong-un and threaten him with nuclear war, that's what I'll do. When it's time to put together a peace deal and have him and President Moon shake hands and try to get a Nobel Peace, that's what I'll do. Whatever's more popular at the time. So, if you want to be the guy again, raise your bet. Put my money on the table, and we'll see where it goes. But at this moment, he sees where the wind is blowing. And that's what it ultimately comes down to, which is great for the Palestinian movement, because we've always said even if it's superficially, was going to bring an end to this war, was going to end the occupation eventually, is going to be the right, that the top of the right and the top of the left coming together on this issue. And we've also, I think most of us have agreed that once you solve the issue of Zionism, especially in the context of this genocide, all of a sudden you realize, oh shit, I think that we've actually been getting played on way more issues than we originally thought. And we agree more than what we thought we did. Because I heard from Zionists about the influence from conservatives, the influence Israel was having in Africa, in Sudan specific. I was like, what? First of all, what the hell did y'all start caring about Sudan? That's what I was curious about, first of all. Second of all, did I just learn from a conservative? Like, this is a few months back. I'm like, did I just learn from conservatives that Israel have been involved in this problem in South Sudan? Like, that's wild. When did y'all start caring? Because they're realizing how much Zionists are controlling and putting their hands in everything. Yeah. And so the deeper you go down the rabbit hole of just how involved Zionists are, like this TikTok shit, China. And then Netanyahu literally comes out and be like, yeah, man, basically, bitch, we did that. We set up that cell just for us. He literally come on, class. What do we just buy? TikTok. Yeah. Because we need to control the algorithms. Well, bro, it's too late for that shit. First of all, it's too late because Donald Trump just came out and dared you to not accept this deal.
Yep,
because he doesn't want to be known as a guy who served as 4 years straight under genocide. Go ahead,
David.
Funny story. I'm looking at a headline on Hotspot, and it says Israel has just violated the peace agreement.
Of course. Is that like new? Like that just happened? Jesus Christ. Of course
it did. And in fact, I would make an argument that it was directly because of what Trump said.
They knew they were checkmate.
Right? Do y'all not agree? Like, oh, what the fuck did you just say? Oh, we got to bomb somebody. We got to bomb somebody today. Okay.
Who the fuck y'all think y'all talking to? You think we reasonable? We want to bomb everything right now. Let me share this quickly, and I want you guys to react to it. And then I know, David, you got a story you want to cover about Africa and United States soldiers and what the fuck we do over there. So I'm going to get to that here very soon. I think we did a great initial breakdown of this. I'm going to have more coverage of this with Aaron Good on Monday. I'm going to just read a few more things. I'm going to show you just a few reactions from Israeli media. I see people posting this everywhere. Look. Breaking: Israeli media is in a state of meltdown after Trump announced that there's going to be a deal with Hamas. In Gaza, they celebrate. This is according to one ultra-Orthodox Israeli outlet. So in Israel, they're complaining that people in Gaza are celebrating. Like, are Israelis so crazy? This is why the West is so psychotic. This is the same thing they will say about the peace deal in Ukraine. They'll say we can have a peace deal with Russia because that will benefit Putin. How many times you guys heard that? We can't accept this ceasefire deal because it will benefit Putin. Yeah, you idiot.
Oh, man, my favorite one is we can't accept the ceasefire deal because somehow Putin will now invade Poland. That's the one that be getting me.
It's like, yeah, dipshit. The whole point of a peace deal that is benefit both sides in some way. That's the whole point of a peace deal. This is why Israelis will never make peace with the Palestinians, because they view any deal that is positive in any way to the Palestinians as an immediate loss. You guys see? So it doesn't matter if it's good for Israelis. You got less IDF soldiers who would die. They don't care because they're a death code. They don't value human life. They don't care if an Israeli Jew come back in a body bag, as long as Palestinians suffer.
To be fair, they kind of turn into bitches in real time. They are. To be fair, like it was like that in the beginning. But we seeing some bitch assity in real time. Like, man, look, dog. Like, I hate a Palestinian as much as you do, but your ass ain't fighting nobody. And matter of fact, what happened to all these hearings that you were supposed to be having?
Have you ever seen those videos? And there's one that happened recently where IDF soldiers said that he eats a bullet every time he closes his eyes. He's like, you guys turned me to a child murderer. I kill people for you. And you guys are bandits. And then wherever they have these meltdowns at the Knesset, you see one of the Likud party members like, nigga, shut the fuck up, man up.
Damn. Yeah, like they're doing a fight.
Like, those moments in the Knesset, they never show in Western media. I live for them. Every single time a video like that comes out, their reaction is always the same. The Israeli politicians never like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, we should never did. They always like, nigga, shut the fuck up, you little pussy. Your job is to kill Arabs for us.
No, anyway, Arabs kill kids. Kill kids and deal with the trauma and PTSD from that, so we don't have to. Not that we would, because that's like, you know how cowardly that is actually. Like when you really think about it, these politicians would never pull the trigger in situations like this, like what we're seeing right now. They would never mass bomb hospitals. They would never actually go up there and start killing, because they couldn't take the trauma. So they send some young British citizen with dual citizenship in Israel to do it for them, because they're fucking cowards. Because like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the truth. Like, oh, shut up and man up and embrace the trauma that I would never even try to engage in. Like, it's insane, bro. Like, but it's okay. The universe will have its day. It will have. This is the
video I'm referencing right here. Where this guy said, I slaughtered countless babies for Israel. This is the thing I get. So this guy is so psychotic. He's not even like mourning the Palestinians he murdered. He's like, why you guys taking care of me? I was your hitman. I killed the Arab force. So
is he American? He sounds American. I mean, he don't sound American, but that's an American ass thing to say.
Why must I suffer daily? My life is slipping away. I love that these people find these demons.
It's somehow it's always about them.
Yeah,
so
even after they kill kids, they're like, well, I'm the one who's suffering.
Bro, in like 15 years, there's going to be an Oscar-winning movie about IDF soldiers suffering through the trauma of killing Palestinian children. You guys realize they did the same thing about the war on terror, right? It turns psychotic, evil assholes into heroes. Oh my God, I'm so sad. I murdered people. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, to keep it a bit, like a lot of those soldiers don't even feel like that. Like they keep it to them. That's why suicides went up so much. Because they're like, I'm embarrassed to talk about the shit that I've done. Like, that's how crazy that shit is.
Yeah, that's why
can I defend you really quick, Nick? Can I defend your comments about? So Nick has been on Twitter, and I feel him because every time something like this happens, or when Palestinians are experiencing some type of like a bombardment, which is I guess every day, but like when a major event happens, Nick gets on Twitter, and I know I feel him. I guess I kind of feel the same way, because I feel the same way about Erica Kirk whenever people are gaslighting, like, you can't talk about what you're seeing. Like, and he's like, hey man, look, Jews, y'all ain't the fucking victims. Stop fucking getting on here and like crying and talking about how like, oh my God, look at how bad y'all are making us look. Oh my God, look at us again. Instead of like acknowledging the suffering of the Palestinians who were just fucking slaughtered. Like, y'all are not understand. Listen, we understand that some people feel the need to call attention to what's happened to the Palestinians, but in a like this whole shit where like Jewish person calls out Jewish person, like that shit is tired, dog. It really, and I understand why he's so pissed. Like, you don't have to jump on every day and be like, it's not all Jews. Like, it ain't all white people that hate black people, bitch. But like, you ain't gotta say that every time a black person get killed by a cop. We know. Stop stating the obvious. And it's already been stated so many times that, like, y'all, it's like every time the Palestinians start getting slaughtered again in high numbers, you use it as an opportunity to engagement farm.
We had Nerdine, who was a prominent Palestinian journalist, and she was asking tough questions that made a lot of anti-Zionist Jews upset. She asking questions like, why are there Jewish organizations that have members that make 6 figures a month profiting off of genocide? Like, what are you doing?
Like, and how much of that money is getting donated to the Palestinian cause?
And you're the bad guy if you mention that. You're like, hey, man, I support you being Jewish and supporting the Palestinian cause, but why are you getting super rich off of it? Why are you not telling LOPs about it? And go ahead, Niko.
Rich as fuck. Not little rich. Like, y'all were already making money. Y'all were already, like, the reason a lot of them got the platform that they got because they were already well off. And it's like, we're going to take advantage of our Jewishness in a way that, like, and we can speak to the contrast of what would happen as Black people when we focus on shit like Breonna Taylor and the way she was killed, Eric Garner and the way he was killed, obviously George Floyd. Like, we suffer the consequences of focusing on the details of what happened over and over and over and over again. Even today, we suffer the consequences of just explaining, like, this man Trump didn't go after law-abiding immigrants. He went into motherfuckers' jobs. Oh, excuse me. Now he didn't go after criminals. He didn't go after drug traffickers. He went into people's jobs. He went after taxpayers, people waiting to get responses on their visas, and then pretending like he was cleaning the streets with crime. And people were like, oh my God, you're anti-American. But in this particular case, because it is popular to oppose genocide, like, oh God, y'all figured out the code, cracked the code, didn't you? But it is even more popular to be Jewish, turn yourself into the victim of a Palestinian struggle, and then talk about the Palestinian struggle and get rich. Like, yeah, I understand why he's pissed. I understand why he feels the need to say that. And if you have a problem with that, then that's because you're probably one of the ones who spends more time retweeting the Jewish people, turning themselves into the victim while talking about this problem, instead of retweeting the actual Palestinians, the actual Arabs that are dealing with the problem. That's why people are pissed. Just want to be clear about that. Sorry, go ahead.
You spitting, brother. That sums it up perfectly, because a lot of these people, and I wouldn't even say I'm mad at them. It's just a critique. The number one victim of this genocide, I wouldn't even say a victim of this genocide. It's not our job to do PR for Judaism. And a lot of these Jewish people in this moment, they are upset. Not that we are under Jewish fascism, that we are, because we are all victims of the genocide. They are upset because the genocide is making their religion look bad. And they openly said, you guys are making Jews look bad. Y'all putting it's not about you. Like, even outside of the Palestinian people, you realize people are being arrested in the UK. You guys realize people's lives have been ruined. I know I have a friend who was a professor. He was fired for sharing opinions that I have on the Palestine conflict. I know friends personally lost their jobs. Dr. Sabrina, we had her on the show. She lost her job criticizing the genocide going on in Gaza. So everyone, emphasized by everyone, is a victim of the Zionist regime. So not only Palestinians, but everyone. So despite everyone being fired, all of us being financially retaliated against, I'm unhireable, guys. You guys realize if this shit doesn't work for me, I'm never getting a job again. Like, my days work for Toyota and Honda is over. I will never get a job at Lexus ever again. I will never work for the gas company like I used to again. I'm unhireable. You search my name, you will see the ADO, their article about my anti-Semitic statement. I'm never getting hired again.
They're gonna be on that same boat, cuz we're gonna have to make our own flotilla for fishing. That's
the point I'm making. If I can't make my own money as an independent journalist, I'm screwed. I'm gonna be homeless if this shit fails, because I am a victim of financial retaliation by Zionists, like everyone else is. So as everyone else is going through this massive trauma of being victims of Zionist occupation in this country, the Jews are like, oh my God, you guys are making my religion look bad.
How many Jewish people got fired from these universities?
Zero.
I'm asking like out of genuine curiosity, because I know that Arabs got fired, Black people got fired, like Christians have been fired, students have been expelled. etc. Like people being deported. Okay, so like even though we do know that factually speaking, there are Jewish professors and Jewish students who have openly protested the genocide, how many Jewish professors have been fired? None. In fact, whenever they fired the black professor at Harvard, you know what they replaced her with? A Jewish anti-Zionist.
Yep.
A white Jewish male anti-Zionist. He's anti-Zionist. Like, hell, holds basically the same views as her. And y'all don't think that's weird? Like, how the hell do you make yourself the fucking victim? I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna give you an example. So Max Blumenthal is Jewish, but what's crazy is like when you hear other Jewish commentators in that like level of popularity talk about the issue, they always bring up the fact that they're Jewish. Max almost never brings it up. He never. People have to. Yeah, like as a Jewish person, he's like, yo, I don't practice, bro. Like, I'm not like, I don't practice. Like, he has to like stop them from bringing it up and like, let's focus on the Palestinians, please. This isn't my opinion as a Jewish person.
That's how it's done.
This is my opinion as Max Blumenthal, investigative journalist, and let's leave it at that. Like, I don't like when people say like, oh, Jewish journalist calls out. They're like, what the fuck? Did you call him out or not? Like, okay, you called him out and you're a journalist. Why do I got to be like, am I a black? I don't like to be looked at as a black journalist telling the truth of what happened to George Floyd or Breonna Taylor. Like, I just want to be seen as a journalist. Yeah. I coincidentally happen to be black. But if I was white, my opinion wouldn't move based on the available facts.
Very well said. David, I will give you
retaliation, really, if I'm being honest, right?
David, you have any thoughts? I'm gonna wrap up I want to show you guys the reaction of the Israelis before I wrap up. Before I do that, David, you have any thoughts? And then after I do my last part of my segment, we can move to your segment, David. But you have any thoughts before I move on, David, Niko? Any final thoughts? Go once, go twice. All right, I'm gonna show you this because I've been hinting at this for a while, and I read just a little bit of it before we went down another rabbit hole. But this is the Israelis panicking. As you guys were talking, I've seen countless statements coming from Zionists and their influencers begging Netanyahu to not accept this deal. They are calling for the immediate continuation of the genocide. Essentially, Zionists are having a meltdown tonight. So that shows that Hamas is on the right side initially. But let me continue with these comments. I read this one where they say, in Gaza they celebrate. Here, Israeli Channel 12. This is completely crazy. Trump states Israel must stop bombing Gaza immediately. Hamas is ready for peace based on the reason they gave us. So they say this is completely crazy. For the first time since the start of the war, the U.S. does not accept the principle of negotiating under fire. That's what from Israeli Channel 12. We were always alone.
Interesting.
Wow. Yo, that's crazy. You know what's wild about that? Like, I mean, it's sad, but like one statement from Trump is actually better than literally the entire administration, like the entire time Joe Biden was president. That's like true. That is more than Biden has done the entire. Like it's sad, but like he actually has put he's put them in a conundrum because you know how Trump reacts whenever like basically a world leader is like, yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. It's never rational. Like he's never like he usually like kind of goes nuclear. Like who the fuck didn't I just tell your ass to not bomb them? Okay, because people forget. We already know that. So Israel has plans to bomb Iran again. We know that. Okay. We also know that Iron Dome once again, shit looking a little bit plastic. And we once again also know that Iran has made it clear that the response will be a little bit more. It will be more reflective of the crime, and you're gonna need some more funding to re-up that Iron Dome again. And y'all don't think that Trump is gonna remember it? He going to. He is going to. That man is a petty ass motherfucker, bro. He's petty.
Hey fam, Israelis are literally calling Donald Trump an agent of Hamas over this.
Oh my God, Laura.
I love this.
Crying right now.
I love this so much.
Crying.
Like I love everything about this.
Yeah. Hey man, hey, I'm just gonna tweet. I just gotta tweet something now, man. Look at Trump.
I can't wait to quote tweet this. This is absolutely I just found it. So Donald Trump is now an agent of Hamas.
This bitch, Laura Loomer. President Trump just released a statement thanking those who helped negotiate peace between Israel and Hamas. This
you want to share it? Oh,
feckless, two-faced, talking out the side of her neck ass bitch.
Oh my god, dude! I'm literally crying, dude. I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard. Donald Trump is officially an agent of Hamas. Laura Loomer is fucking in full cult mode. This is gonna be a fun night, guys.
Oh my god! Hold on, oh man, I'm about to. God, that bitch is in. Oh my god! Because anybody, bro, if this is Candace Owens, this Tucker Carlson, Qatar. Oh shit, Donald Trump said that. Well, he motherfucker paying my bills, man. So yeah. Anyway, Trump, man, good on you for wanting to negotiate peace. Thanks.
Oh dear.
Like what? She not. Oh Lord, baby Jesus. That's it.
All right, let me quickly.
Yeah, you know it's a good. You know it's gonna be a good night whenever Laura Loomer's out here thanking Trump or promoting Trump for negotiating a peace deal with Hamas. Like it's gonna be a good. While Israel is having a fucking nervous breakdown. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Hebrew media admits the tables have turned, conceding in Gaza they celebrate, and Israel silence prevails. Bro, they are shocked into silence in Israel right now.
Bro,
come on. Here's Emily. Here's another. I'll end it here because I can go down this rabbit hole forever. I want to cover some other stuff. I can go down this rabbit hole forever, and I will probably tonight. Here's some more reactions. Hamas did not agree to almost anything Trump proposed in the ceasefire offer, and peace in Gaza does not equal peace in the Middle East, especially when the threat is Islamic Republic, not Hamas. Oh, so this person is just admitting that they are waging a holy war that will never end. Do they feel like they're making these statements publicly? Anyway, I think you got a chance to make a final thoughts because I can go down this rabbit hole forever. David, I'll start with you. Final thoughts on this story. Niko, I'll give you final thoughts, and then we move on to our next story.
Well, as I said earlier, I find it kind of boring from the point of view of someone who sort of is unfortunate enough to be able to see this from a wider angle because I'm far away. It's so predictable. Again, colonizer, colonized. One would hope that the colonized finally get it, that the colonizer has always fought an offensive war, and the colonizer has always fought a defensive war, and no defensive war in the history of humanity has ever been successful. So maybe like the so-called axis of resistance, they're starting to get it, but from the point of view of someone who's living in a country that is not part of the axis of resistance, country that does not offer any kind of resistance whatsoever. It's just a vassal of the empire. It's kind of depressing to just watch it play out, this sickening inevitability, and just feeling like you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Niko, any final thoughts? And then I will get to you, David, because you have a story you want to break down regarding what I think it was United States troops, what they did in African bases. I don't want to spoil it. I want you to explain it. So that we will cover that next. But Niko, any final thoughts on the Gaza peace plan, or any final thoughts on how the Israelis are reacting to this before we move on?
Oh, I'm here for it. Like I do feel like this is part because like you can't win any war before you win the propaganda war. Like you can't. And if like just in the grander scheme, if Trump is on the opposite side of Bibi and Laura Loomer is having to backtrack in real fucking time and pretend like, oh, I've always supported this Hamas, the Hamas terms of this peace plan, the fact that Trump supported Hamas. And we're finding out in real time that Charlie Kirk was like, yeah, I'm going to have to, even though I'm a shill, right? Like, because that's the only reason, because Tucker Carlson said a year ago, he felt like he wanted to break ties with Israel. So like he was a shill, and unfortunately, you can't take money from the gang and then like give it back. That's not how it works, bro. It's not how it works. And I feel like, he's a victim of the monster that he created, unfortunately. So there's that. But like if he was really willing to do that, knowing his life was in danger, and then Candace is about to expose it, and Tucker is also in this corner over here exposing it, and Israelis are having mental breakdown, and Hamas is over here just like, got y'all motherfuckers.
Love it.
We got you. I love it because you win the propaganda war eventually, like the war is going to stop. Like because y'all do know that in order for them to engage and enact that the economic side. You know, when everybody was joking about Trump God, this is Trump saying, I'm willing to just pretend like I never said that shit. That's effectively what he's saying. Right? Like on that front, they already won.
Yeah.
They've already and the UN has agreed to help facilitate the rebuild of Gaza. The reconstruction of Gaza. They've already agreed. So even if Israel doesn't hold up their end of the bargain on that, like, bitch, it don't matter. Like, y'all just would be using our money anyway. It's not like y'all spending y'all money to do a goddamn thing. If the U.S. is helping to pay for the reconstruction and the UN is helping to pay for the reconstruction, like, and Palestine gets to keep their government, like, bro, Netanyahu effectively has learned, hey, man, I really don't actually have any allies that are worth a damn anymore. That's not that is not inconsequential. That is significant. I love it. Oh, bro, that Laura Loomis shit. Bro,
yeah, I can't wait to cover this more in detail.
Our difference. She literally tried to pretend like he didn't. Like, no, they deleted it. He didn't agree with the. Oh, actually, here's Trump thanking all the who helped negotiate this deal. My bad,
bro. Based on the quick scroll I did, the Zionist code is incredible. I can't wait to do further analysis and breakdown of this and see what comes of this. Like David said, Israel is not to be trusted. It's only a matter of time before they continue their offensive. But I think Hamas put Israel overall in a horrible position internationally. When it seems like just a few days ago, Hamas was in a bad position with everyone accepting this deal for them. So I think that was just a great chess move on their behalf. But we got to keep our expectations low. Before we move on to our next story with David, I had to shout this out. I had to say this, guys, because you guys know my channel isn't monetized. I'm taking a big hit by leaving our shadow ban RBN account behind. So if you want to help me out on Patreon, that's a good way to help me go through this period of losing monetization on YouTube. I think we gotta get it within
You're
a week.
probably gonna hit tonight. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we already halfway through. Like it took me when I first started. It took me like a month and a half to get. It took me forever. Now we already got a good base of support. Like we have 1,600 people watching across all platforms according to this app, and I'm assuming this app is telling the truth. So we are.
You're gonna hit like 20K. I really feel like you're gonna hit like 20K like in the next 3-4 weeks. Like 20K subscriber. Because like they can't track you anymore, bro. They was on your head on RBN, but that's because they was on all y'all heads on RBN. Yeah. Like,
and also because they kept getting us strikes. Savvy, because I'm a boomer. You guys all know how to do this shit. So Savvy, she knows all this shit. She knows the ins and outs of YouTube. So once you get strikes on your channel, they shadow ban you. We was shadow banned to hell. Then they gave us 2 strikes on some bullshit. And then that simply killed our channel. Like it's over. Like even if I was to go back on RBN, we can't trend. It's literally over. So that's why it's better for me just to stream on this channel. And we decided that RBN, like Savvy has her channel, JB has his channel. So we're more decentralized, but RBN is still an active left think tank and organizing force. So if you want to support us, I was taking a minor financial hit, not monetizing YouTube. So Patreon, a small donation would be appreciated. Like, subscribe as well. And now I want to get to David. I think this will be our last story today. Unless Niko, you have anything else you want to cover? I know we talked about.
I want to just briefly cover that DOJ story after David gets.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. Let's cover that. We cover that last. We get to that story last. But I want to set the stage because David is about to expose what the United States soldiers have been doing, and everything that the West says is pure projection. I want to interject this because they always want to paint like Hamas and their enemies as being demonic rapists. Like, remember the Viagra super soldiers in Syria?
Yep.
Always. I forgot about that. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, I got a long memory, guys. I told you guys. I never forget these. This is the Viagra super soldiers, the mass rapes of October 7th. It's our projection. Like when you look at the people who actually engage in rape and crimes, they are colonial entities. Like people who are engaged in resistance, you're not going to engage in mass rape as in the resistance movement. The ability to engage in stuff like mass rape requires control. That's why you see colonial powers tend to do that. That's why you see the British Empire engaged in rape. That's why you see Israel engaged in rape. That's why you see the United States soldiers all over this country, all over the world engaged in rape. It is not something colonial movements do, despite what propaganda had convinced us. So the IDF, they rape so much, they can't even stop each other from raping each other. They can't stop from raping each other. They rape Palestinians to death. I know you're going to cover some story that happened in Africa, but I thought this happened not too long ago. This happens all the time. Another soldier was caught raping someone in occupied Japan? Because you guys know Japan is occupied.
Bruh.
Yeah.
They got US bases all
what?
over the place. And you
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
know
that's
this is
true,
a
yeah.
problem. Niko, I'll get you in here. I know you want to chime in, but you gotta
Oh,
know
no, I
this
just
is a
want to
big
say I
problem.
forgot. Yeah, that's true. It's true. I completely forgot about the U.S. bases.
Yeah, and I want to show this first to set the stage for David because this is a gigantic problem that no one talks about. And Pete Hegseth just gave a whole speech like, yo, this whole thing where you ruin someone's career because they're accused of a little bit of rape, we're not doing that shit no more. So, David, I'll pass to you. Look, U.S. soldier charged in Japan for rape. It's been it was so big of a problem that the Japanese government called it out. They said, "Hey, man, you guys got to start doing this. You got to have some reforms to stop U.S. soldiers from just going to Tokyo and raping the shit out of people."
That's crazy, bro.
Which links to your story, David. I want you to introduce it because you have U.S. soldiers that are engaging in rape in Africa. David, can you please explain what your investigative journalism found?
Well, so first of all, I think on hotspots, I've actually covered a story like this before. It was about this thing you just mentioned about U.S. soldiers having this pattern of rape in Japan. Now, in that story, I mentioned that this actually goes back to the 40s. There was a village apparently in Okinawa where there was a scandal that took place after the end of the Second World War when there was like direct occupation, where US soldiers started going missing. And apparently what had happened was that the villagers had started secretly killing them and hiding the corpses
that's so
because the US soldiers had a habit of just walking into the village and just helping themselves to the young women there. So
Japan, not the country to fuck with when it comes to stuff like that, bro.
Yeah,
that's the home of the ninjas, guys. Ninjas.
So it was a big thing then, and it's still a problem now because apparently, like every few weeks, and those are just the ones you hear about. I was listening to something from a lady who works for a pressure organization there. She says there's more than 35 cases in the past 6 years alone that haven't even got to the point of being like heard in courts.
That's crazy.
Right. So it's an ongoing thing. Now, where this links to Kenya, now Kenya has this status as a major non-NATO ally in Africa, in East Africa. So essentially it's the empire's biggest bitch.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Right? That's basically what it is, right? So, however, either the Kenyan government doesn't seem to be aware of the reality of what that relationship means, or, as is more likely, it's just a vassal government that does what it's told. Now, both the UK and the US have some of the largest military bases on the entire continent in Kenya. In fact, the British military basically uses like a large district of Kenya essentially as its training field, right? There are huge districts of Kenya where even local Kenyans aren't allowed because it's basically like military reservation. And it's not the Kenyan military, it's foreign militaries who go there to train, right? Now, in the course of the interactions between the people who live in these places, because these places are not, this is not empty land, right? People live there. People have lived there for thousands of years, right? And then, some white guy came from the UK one day and said, this is our land now. And, it's been fun since then. So what happens is, obviously there's rape, right? That's a given. Wherever there's an occupation force and there's a defenseless local population, there's rape. But what made this case so horrific was that, unlike in all the other cases, first of all, there's like this has been documented that it happens thousands of times. British soldiers routinely rape Kenyan women, and the Kenyan government is aware of it, and they just don't really seem to see it as that big a problem, to be honest. There's a whole thing. In fact, there was a story that came out today. There was a group of children. Well, they're not children anymore. A group of people whose parents are British soldiers, but they're born to Kenyan women in Kenya, and the British soldiers apparently came, had sex or raped their moms or whatever, and then went back to the UK and left them in Kenya. And they actually went to court to sue for their right to UK citizenship. They just won their case today. I'm just mentioning this to to provide a background for how widespread the issue is. Now, what made this case so horrific was that the lady in question, um, so she was like first of all, she was a sex worker, or she was doing sex work, right? So as terrible as it sounds, there wasn't really any rationale for the rape, right?
Because
This
you
was
could
a
have just
sex
paid
worker.
for it.
Yeah, this was a sex
And Kenyan
worker who,
money and Kenyan currency at that. Like,
yeah, but apparently it's I don't know, like it's a power thing.
exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
So,
It's just to show that I can do this and you can't do anything about it.
so this guy, this soldier, whose name has just been unsealed, 13 years later, his name is Robert James Perkins. Apparently, he and his platoon or whatever, like they basically took turns
Right.
raping this woman, right? And then he apparently strangled her. So he stabbed her in her lungs. So basically, like, you know, when if someone stabs you in your lungs, you're basically gonna drown to death in your own blood. So
Mhm.
basically stabbed her and then tossed her into a septic tank. And she basically drowned in shit. Tossed her in when she was still alive. Right. That's how
Yes.
horrific this was.
These
And
motherfuckers, bro.
so the case investigation files have just been made public. And in those investigation files, you can see where on his Facebook page, he and his platoon members the morning after were making jokes about it on a public Facebook page. Using words like septic tank and then using a meme from Family Guy where Stewie is looking down into a grave.
These people are
What?
psychotic, man. That's why they sign up for the
Yeah.
military, man. I tell you, they psychotic, crazy people. This is why I
So
don't. This is why I say fuck the troop, guys. I'm not down with that military worship. Fuck the troops. But go ahead, David. They're
this
psychotic.
this happened in 2012, and it wasn't even investigated. It was reported, but it wasn't even investigated until 2016. And then the British did what all imperial entities do: they covered their ass. So they basically like quietly pushed him out of the military, but nothing really happened to him. By this time, he was back home. He got into a whole new career. He, went into IT. He got married apparently. So he's supposed to be some sort of respectable, military
That's the
veteran
most
now with
British
a
shit ever, bro. That's the most
with
British
a
shit
whole
ever.
career. And he's just literally been named last week. So he basically got away with this for 13 years. And it's just last week the Kenyan High Court finally issued an international arrest warrant, which the British authorities probably are not going to honor.
Yeah, they're probably not.
So
Yeah, I mean, Great Britain finances a lot of Kenya's infrastructure and military, right?
military, yes, definitely
Yeah.
not infrastructure,
So,
but military,
so
yes.
yeah. So we're not gonna do shit. That basically is what's gonna happen. That's like, oh man, and they're not gonna hold him accountable there
Yeah. So
because they view all actions that are made public committed by a Brit. They view it as a reflection of all of Britain. That's how they've kind of
yeah.
always operated. So they're not gonna. Yeah. Oh man, it's just disgusting. Honestly.
So why I think this matters so much is that Africa is existing in a uniquely dangerous situation now where it seems like lines are being drawn in the sand every day. The world is obviously preparing for war. That much is clear. We don't know when this war is going to happen, but it's clear that it's going to happen at some point. Probably it's already started and we just don't recognize it as such. And Africa, with or without its consent, is being carved up as a major battleground in that war. And for whatever reason, many national governments, be they puppets or whatever, still don't seem to get it that they're in a uniquely dangerous situation. So in Kenya's case, for example, why are you being a major non-NATO ally? What is the rationale
Yeah.
at this point in time? So you're surrounded by neighbors who are very friendly with China, very, very friendly with China. And then you go and take up this status as essentially the US empire's chief vassal in Africa, and you are bordered by three countries that overnight basically become borderline hostile towards you. Why are you doing that? You're hosting their military bases, you're doing joint military training exercises, you're buying Western military equipment, which is, I think, one of the worst mistakes you can make as a military in the global South. Because if you buy military equipment from them, basically they have kill switches and everything.
Yeah. Also,
so
you're going to fucking Haiti. You're sending your soldiers to Haiti because the U.S. doesn't want to be seen.
Exactly. So Kenya in particular, I think Kenya and Nigeria are the two worst offenders in Africa, but Kenya in particular, it's like it's setting itself up for something terrible. And for whatever reason, everyone just seems perfectly okay with it.
And another thing that's is a big problem with this is that it allowed the United States to control your sovereignty. So I was looking into this as you were speaking, David, and look at what Donald Trump is using against Kenya to impose their own geopolitical will. I don't know how much you looked into this, but I've seen a few headlines that said this. You guys see how they're using their status as a NATO ally to control Kenya's fate? U.S. reevaluates Kenya's NATO status amid concerns over China ties. And there's all these articles over the last few weeks where Marco Rubio and the State Department is putting massive pressure on William Ruto to cut ties from China. You guys see how these agreements always come with
a dumb ass that is stupid. That is what
and then you should ask the question, what are these ties in question? Because it's not military ties. It's infrastructure.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
But
China is building roads and rails and bridges, the most basic stuff that grows an economy. Yeah. And they're like, no, that's not for you. That's not for you. You're not supposed to be building stuff that lifts you out of poverty. You are supposed to be poor. That's your role. And it's like everyone is like, oh yeah, cool. The US has said it, so must be right.
My question is, so given everything you just said, David, you just got surrounded by 3 countries that became effectively hostile overnight. You are in a bad situation because, like you said, economically, y'all aren't well off, and you are never going to be part of this partnership that is building all around you. And because of your status as a vassal state, and the only thing you benefit really from the NATO powers that are controlling you is the military, your military might. But okay, maybe against one country, maybe against 2, but you ain't about to handle all 3 of them. Not those countries.
No, you're not. Absolutely not.
They out there fight okay, so now Trump and Rubio's dumbass is let's threaten this fake vassal status because this sound familiar, guys? Ukraine? Ukraine getting into NATO anytime soon? Absolutely not. And those 3 countries just spent how much time, how much money, and how many lives, and how many years getting NATO out of their countries. So what do you think would happen if Kenya would have officially joined NATO? That's already grounds for war, and I wouldn't be surprised if it started because of that. So now you're if y'all continue to work with China, we're going to take away the NATO status that y'all motherfuckers don't even have. So now if I'm Kenya, hey China, man, what's good? Let's talk a little bit more because these motherfuckers are tripping. You're incentivizing me to go work with China more. What?
Yeah, it's a panic move, Niko, because it's something like, man, we losing Kenya to China, even though we did everything we can to introduce William Ruto into this fear of acceptable Western leaders. And it's extremely pathetic because in order to get this position, and I covered this before, and I know you covered this as well, David, William Ruto sent against orders from his own Supreme Court. He sent Kenyan police officers to fight and die in Haiti. So his people
they got their asses handed to them too, didn't they? I just wanted to clarify that. They got their asses handed to them, didn't they?
They're dying.
Crazy, bro. That's nuts.
So you're a leader, and you send your instead of protecting your own people, you sending your police officers to fight and die for what? U.S. imperialism? For French imperialism to honor the U.S. presence in Haiti? What do you guys do? This is what a lot of these South African leaders are doing, and they realize they are pawns in the United States scheme, but they don't care as long as they are giving and they are allowed a reign of power, they will continue to sell to
Exactly.
people.
Hold on,
Which
was
why I found
president
this
that came out and said that they're turning their international language into French?
That was in Uganda, next door to
Uganda.
Kenya.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I want to share an
know.
update. I know Niko has a story. We're about 90 minutes in. I don't want to keep you guys too long on a Friday night. So I want to give Niko a chance to share his story. But David, look at how on the money we was. How on the money you was. Because as we're live right now, I'm gonna give you a quick update. Israel's already starting to bomb the shit out of Gaza. Furious as hell about this ceasefire deal. And everyone just a quick update. Everyone in Israel essentially calling for the continuation of this war after seeing what Trump and Hamas did. So it will be very interesting to see how Trump tries to save face after trying to bury Israel. So here's the update. Feel free to respond, guys. And Niko, I want to give you a chance to cover your story as well before we wrap up.
JD Vance came out and talked about how proud he is of the president for accepting Hamas's terms.
Why do they talk to him like he's a toddler? Like, you know how like a toddler does like simple household chores or whatever. They pick up after themselves. Like, oh, I'm so proud. And look at Nick, he picked up after himself. I'm so proud of you. That's how they talk to the president of the United States. Look at our big president making statements. He's a big boy.
That's the Trump economy, man. The Trump economy. Boy, I can't wait for Trump to be out of office. Y'all don't even know that. I'm counting down the days. And it isn't really because of Trump himself, because like how much control does he really have over the situation? But like once the Trump economy breaks, the conservative movement is going to start looking a lot like France. Right? Like they gonna point fingers and like it's your fault. Who's gonna lead us now? Like, cause like to keep it a band, like Charlie Kirk was kind of like supposed to be the guy. He was 31 years old. And to be fair, to be completely honest and objective, he was on that trajectory. And they just took out their most valuable asset. And the MAGA movement knows that whatever the truth is, it's Trump and his team that are hiding it. Like, why the hell did they send? So I don't know if you saw the ADL broke ties with that, or rather the FBI broke ties with the ADL. But they have offices together, which is like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird as shit to help out with investigating. Like, what the hell is ADL doing helping the FBI investigate any goddamn thing? But there's a specific
new scandal, you would think.
It should be, right? But it kind of is, because FBI from the Connecticut office where they share with ADL, they were the ones who were sent to investigate Charlie Kirk's murder in Utah. And this is after Kash Patel fired Utah FBI agents 2 weeks before Kirk was murdered. And it's like, hold up, you said the ones with the ADL people? Because like you do know you're not seeing all these accusations from Israel about Israel, and then you're gonna send that specific, because like they're one of the most prominent, and you send these officers or these FBI agents from Connecticut, not people who are familiar with Utah, who have worked with Utah law enforcement. You send the ones that have a ADL office with Connecticut, because the ADL, from what I researched, the FBI office in Utah has nothing to do, at least in that area, has nothing to do with the ADL. Why would they? It's a warmer country, so you can't trust them to get you the results you need, right? Right? Yeah. And so now this whole shit, bro, it's getting crazy. It is getting crazy when the Trump economy breaks, and it is coming. The conservative movement will be in shambles, and it will be ripe for the picking. Like,
Niko, remember what we said? Remember, we predicted this last year, because when Donald Trump won, everyone was like, MAGA is going to have dominance over the next few generations. I'm like, do you understand how this pendulum works? Like, after Biden commits a genocide, it's Donald Trump's turn to fuck shit up. And now all of a sudden, Pete Buttigieg is going to be, Gavin Newsom is going to be propelled, because Democrats seem like they were dead in the water. So after Donald Trump lost, because he had a whole January 6th that scared the shit out of suburbanites, he failed in his first term to accomplish his campaign promises. Like every single president, he failed the American people. So he lost, and Democrats took over. So what did Democrats do to give MAGA a lifeline as MAGA became culturally insignificant? They committed a fucking genocide in order to bail out MAGA. And now, once MAGA takes
and they put up possibly the worst candidate in fucking history, which was crazy. Like, and announced it on Twitter.
That too.
Like, what?
That too.
What are we
That too.
doing? Like,
Exactly.
you want to talk about the Truman Show? Like, the Truman Show would be more believable. Like, come on, bro. Y'all just really made an announcement that she's about to. Now, after running an entire primary, Kamala Harris is not the Democratic nominee, even though she got not a single vote. Okay. And I know that Trump, it seemed like he's doing his damnedest to hand the House and the Senate and even the presidency back to Democrats. But then every time you think, oh man, they might actually do it this time, these motherfuckers turn around. Like, for example, with this flotilla situation, there are several Democrats that came out and it's like what, 19, I think, in total, bro. But you know who hadn't said a goddamn thing? Go ahead, take a guess, Nick. Go ahead. You already know the answer. You know the answer. Go guess who I say not a word. It's Bernie.
Of course.
It's Bernie. Not a fucking word. Elon, even AOC, because we know she's running for president, but shit, she actually might end up being worse than she will get blown out in the primary. She's gonna get blown out. Like, I think she probably could be the Republican if she had the chance to, but she's going to get her neck blown out, no pun intended, in the primary. And so...
Oh, no. You didn't go there.
Why you laughing, Dave? I ain't mean like... It's only fucked up because you're laughing. But it's different because we know who the culprit will be. That's the difference. Oh shit! Ain't that different? Cause I guess it'll be Zionists that are fun of the movie. So anyway, but no, seriously, like she probably won't finish top 3, and it might not be there any fault of her own. Well, it'll be some fault of her own because she won't be able to build the movement that Bernie built because she already fucked up in advance. So what's going to happen? She's going to siphon all of this money again from working class people again, and do what with it? Light it on fire. And guess who's going to remind the world of that every single time she tries to come up and speak out? Us. Yeah. And the Democrats are going to end up putting up somebody because you know Gavin Newsom can't be the governor of California again. People forget that. He cannot be that's it. This is the only option he has left to stay relevant in politics because no one in California is ready to give up their Senate or a House seat. Right. So this is it. And like Gavin Newsom he's not going to win. Like, bro got a lot of explaining to do. And all the things about him are going to come to light during the presidential election like everybody else. So, like, they're trying their hardest to fucking lose. Like, y'all got us out here just pretending like Andrew Cuomo and the fucking rapist. Like, why is that even? And it's like not being discussed. Like, yeah, man, this Democrat who got like exposed for putting COVID patients in nursing homes and also, sexually assaulting women is trying to be the governor of New York. And he actually, for a while, had a chance to win. Why are the Democrats not demanding he drop out? And why is that not a scandal? Like, they're trying to lose, bro.
I think the 2028, I have no idea. It's a race to the bottom because you're going to have J.D. Vance versus the Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg ticket. That's what it's going to be. You're going to have Bernie Sanders, Zohran Mamdani endorse Pete Buttigieg. You guys can't wait for that. It's going to be a race to the bottom like it's always. It always is. As I mentioned before, Larry Ellison is the real fucking president. The Zionists control. At the end of the day, they're the one who control everything. This is what I want to share as just to add to your story, Niko, and we'll begin to wrap up.
Please do.
Because if you think that Kash Patel and the FBI distancing themselves from the ADL is like a good sign of thing to come, you'll be wrong. Because Kash Patel just recently came out and said, hey, man, we just essentially getting rid of the middleman. Like ADL before essentially gave the government directions on who to censor. Now they're like, we're just going to do it ourselves. So Kash Patel should be calling for full-blown social media censorship because he upset over clickbait. Actually, I don't want to play this whole video. I just play like the first.
The irony, boy, you're the FBI director for the clickbait president, and you're like, we tired of clickbait.
Actually, I don't feel like playing the clip. I'll just read the description, and then we can begin to wrap up. FBI Director Kash Patel says social media is out of control and insists the U.S. government must step in to address what he calls as clickbait. But so essentially, they're getting rid of the ADL. But they're just getting rid of the middleman. They're not pretending that there's some sort of human rights organization that's calling them to censor people.
Good thing the Democrats aren't in, man, because they would just love all this big government. You know, good thing we got those good old conservatives who hate big government censorship. Thank God, man. That's just lucky
Decolonize
us.
your mind, my friends. Like, this is why you post duopoly. Things doesn't change between the empire, man. Like, no matter they just sell things differently. They just sell their policies differently. Like, Trump is more theatrical. And
they don't even do that anymore.
Biden Democrats, they will say stuff like, "Oh man, we gotta have ICE to protect our borders." But MAGA, they will have like Christy Nome or some MAGA Barbie like dress up as Homeland Security. Like they had the same policies. The only difference is MAGA they play dress up, and
they're going to be blonde hair, blue eyes, 100%. Yeah.
But let's begin to get out here because I think this was a powerful Friday stream. It's always great to have our hotspot brothers, us coming together and breaking down these news stories. I will definitely continue to cover this Gaza peace proposal. I've been scrolling the timeline as you guys were speaking, and man, like there's so much going. Things are moving extremely fast. Like Israel bombing Gaza now. Republicans are trying to walk back Trump initial statement.
What?
We're gonna cover this next week. There's gonna be a lot of cover. We can't be here all night. We will be here literally 3 hours going through the shit.
I can't wait. This weekend's about to be wild. This weekend,
it's gonna be wild. So David, I'm gonna start with David.
To see Trump's response. I want to see what Trump got to say about this shit, bro. Because if he like flips out,
so someone in Trump's team is gonna have to backtrack because he's taking like Lindsey Graham is coming out publicly against it. Like based on what I've seen, like the MAGA establishment is like, nah, we don't accept this fucking peace plan that you got drawn up. So we will see. Like the Palestinian movement is celebrating right now. It's in like Israel checkmated on the global stage. I saw Keir Starmer said he supports this peace plan going through. Like Keir Starmer had a tweet saying he supports, and he's glad that Hamas accepted it. So Keir Starmer in the UK is putting pressure on Israel now. So there's a lot there moving on this story. I will be back on Monday with Aaron Good. I know Niko.
Alexis season be having people act out of pocket, don't he? Hey, Alexis season be having people act out of like, yo, man, this genocide is a fucking y'all. Are we not watching around the world? People are losing around like Lula. Even like he's getting a lot of stuff wrong in Brazil. People don't even realize it, but he ain't gonna get that genocide wrong. That's for goddamn sure. He ain't gonna get that wrong. He single-handedly kept BRICS from transforming the world by blocking Venezuela from joining. And they're like, yeah, but he ain't get genocide wrong. So we gonna let it rock for real. So
yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that he got Ukraine right as well. Lula is far from perfect, but I'm glad he got Ukraine and Gaza right. Here's Keir Starmer's statement. You guys see where this is going. Like a ton of pressure is on Israel, and this is exactly what Hamas wanted. I don't think many people in Hamas and the Palestinian movement expected Israel to follow through on this. They expected to turn Israel to the international bad guy. Hamas' acceptance of the peace deal is a significant step forward. So Hamas, in my opinion, I'm looking forward to pushback. I love your guys' comments. I want to see how you guys analyze it. From my perspective, I think this was a great chess move when Hamas was in a bad position. But David, let's wrap up because we can go all day. David, I want to give you your final thoughts, anything you want to plug. Any final thoughts as we wrap up the stream? Now I'll go to your Niko for your final thoughts before we wrap up as well. David, any final thoughts, anything you want to plug?
Well, nothing that I'm trying to plug, but I guess my final thoughts would be that for the benefit of the Nigerian Christians who feel that their plight or the violence that some of them are facing is being highlighted in front of the world, and that's a good thing. They should understand that this is not the first time that these guys pull stunts like this, right? So when trying to justify some sort of military intervention in a specific location, the first thing that comes is the ritual demonization of some group of people in that place. So be it the supposed Iraqi soldiers throwing babies into ovens, which was a story that was sold very successfully in 1991. If you recall, the ambassador's daughter who was coached to go on TV crying, I saw the soldiers throwing the babies into ovens and, stabbing the babies with bayonets, and they made up that whole stuff, right? Sometimes they don't need to make it up because sometimes there's a core of truth. Either way, it doesn't matter. The empire has one goal, and the goal is the stuff under your feet. You are just an organic obstacle. in the way of that goal. Eric Prince is not trying to help you. Eric Prince is trying to kill you so that he can get to what is under your feet. So just for the benefit of anyone who thinks that the Yanks are coming to help you, the cavalry is coming, they're coming to save you from the big bad terrorist Muslims, go give your head a shake. That's not what is going on at all.
That's a great ending statement, David. Niko, any final thoughts? Any project you had coming up? And we'll wrap up the stream after your thoughts.
Really quick, David. Wasn't part of the justification for the U.S.'s involvement in Nigeria in the 90s because of Christians being attacked or something like that? Am I wrong?
There hasn't been a direct foreign military deployment in Nigeria before. At least not
like explicit.
But yeah, exactly. So yeah, and hopefully we keep it that way. But some people are trying their hardest to change that.
But they're focusing on this as if there's not been a constant back and forth between Christians and Muslims in Nigeria.
Oh, they absolutely has been, and more importantly, they created it.
Oh shit!
They created it, right? The entire pipeline of what we call Islamic terrorism in Nigeria. Where did it come from? It didn't just sprout, out of somewhere without context, right? I did a story about this in 2021. The story probably didn't go far enough because it only focused on places like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Sudan, where a lot of the training and sort of ideological indoctrination for these people took place. But when you draw the line back far enough, it always leads to the State Department. The State Department was aware of everything as it was happening. In that story, I actually mentioned there's a guy who used to work at the State Department. His name is Victor Comras. He was referring to the guy who was identified as essentially the alpha funder of what became Boko Haram in Nigeria, a guy called Ahmed Idris Nasruddin. Right, he was a very wealthy businessman. The State Department actually identified him. The Justice Department actually sanctioned him temporarily, froze some of his accounts and stuff. And guess what? They removed all of the sanctions within a few months. This guy who they wrote this very lengthy indictment that, very intricate indictment. He finances terror networks across North Africa and West Africa. They removed all sanctions. No explanation was offered. And then you have this guy, Victor Comras, from the State Department saying he doesn't know why these sanctions were removed. He doesn't know why this guy is still able to operate. I mean, except you're stupid, you can see the very obvious inference in there. The US government is very much aware of where this Islamic terrorism is coming from, and it wants it to happen. It enables it to happen so that by manufacturing the problem and offering the solution, you can take control of the narrative and of the resources, which is ultimately the goal. So, I really wish that, I lived in an environment where people were more sort of receptive to this kind of information. But, people are just so blinkered. All they can see is, my religion, my faith, my little identity that nobody outside this, nobody outside this country has ever heard of, just these like tiny little religious and micro-ethnic identities that nobody gives a shit about 200 kilometers away.
The ruling class take advantage of that. The ruling class have historically always taken advantage of that. But I want to hard in here because if I don't hard in, we will go all day. I love doing it.
And let me say before I go. I want everybody to remember, Nigeria is the only country, well, not the only country, but the main superpower African nation in West Africa that is not part of this Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger
AES.
AES. Okay. Yeah. And France is fucking crumbling. Okay. So do you really trust Nigeria to keep up with their, with the corruption and, unaccountable corruption? And you trust them, these people, to not overthrow their government? Because it's getting, David's talked about over and over again, like people are getting pissed. They don't know what they're pissed about. It's like shit is not right here. And eventually, they're gonna start looking over on that side and like, man, hey, can you come over here? Let's just talk real quick. The resources that will not be guaranteed for Americans, maybe it won't be this year, maybe it won't be next year, but over the next 5 to 10 years, there is no guarantee you can protect those resources unless you provide a reason to have U.S. troops there on the ground to protect them. And so now, all of a sudden, those Muslims that aren't having as much success as they thought they would against AES, they're just being sent down to Nigeria. And it's, oh man, look at how many Christians are being killed. Like, yeah, but like that's kind of been a thing forever. So unfortunately, I mean, it's not a good thing, but y'all talking about it is sudden. That's the difference. It's not that it's a good thing that is happening. It's like, why are y'all concerned about Christians being killed now? Because like 2 weeks ago, y'all didn't give a fuck. 3 weeks ago, y'all didn't give a fuck. 2 years ago, y'all didn't give a fuck. But after AES is out here kicking ass, taking names and resources and protecting resources and building up economies and single-handedly taking out NATO, like y'all cannot trust that Nigeria with this dumbass president they got in power can actually preserve U.S. interests there. So now you have to create a reason to be there since trying to get into the AES countries has not worked out. Oh, also, you gotta because I'm sure something's going on behind the scene with France, right? Like, I believe that truth, bro, France is fucking, they went from a first world country to a damn near developing nation in like a matter of months, and it's not being discussed enough. It is not being discussed enough. And the prime minister that was fired? Was it was it prime minister? I think it was. Yeah, the prime minister who was voted out with vote of confidence. He said, bitch, like basically y'all can put a band-aid over this, like, but we all know why our economy is shit. And y'all can keep pretending, y'all can replace it as many times as you want to, but like the truth is, we needed Africa, and Africa kicked us the fuck out, and we have no resolution. We have no solution. There is nothing that can be done. And if they lose Nigeria too,
they're fucked.
They're done. And they're already fucked. So I really believe like that's what this is about, is having a reason to protect the resources, because they know if it isn't AES coming in by force to protect their own interests, it will be Nigerians eventually inviting AES in. And they have to have troops on the ground to prevent that from happening.
Fantastic analysis, my friends. I have just the final update tonight. I have to end it with this. So, as we expected, Benjamin Netanyahu is in complete shambles right now. So, this will be the last update I'll share. Netanyahu reportedly surprised by Trump's statement, consider Hamas' response to U.S. plan a refusal. So this is like David said, Israel is going to continue the war. Netanyahu is upset.
They have one trick. They have one.
That motherfucker lashed out, basically, right? That's what we all just witnessed. He lashed out like a fucking 2-year-old. That's what we just witnessed.
And the whole world is going to see it too. And this is what Hamas wanted. So we ended with this tonight. I can't wait to Monday now. I can't wait because on Monday I'm gonna join you guys with Aaron Good. I know Niko gonna have fire content. David's gonna have fire content. It's very important for you guys to follow us at Hotspot.
It's about to be another week.
Every few weeks.
Yo, do you remember what I tweeted on Sunday, Nick? Do you remember what I tweeted on Sunday?
What was it?
I said, yo, it's about to be a long ass fucking week. I literally tweeted on Sunday night. I just knew, I'm like, this shit it's about to be crazy on all fronts. And I'm like, I have no idea how we're going to be able to keep up with all of it. And that is literally what happened. It was a wild week, and it is getting like on all fronts of the propaganda war, it is getting wilder. Like, it's like lines, we're witnessing in real time, lines getting drawn in the sand. And I mean, I already know what side I'm standing on, but it's just crazy to witness them have to look over on our side like, man, maybe those anti-imperialist leftists got a point, man. Because really, everybody keeps switching the fuck up. And these people making the same arguments they was making 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Yeah. So maybe I was on the wrong team. Maybe that. And I know somebody pissed that they out there making all these free ass, embarrassing ass pro-Israel posts, and they just learned that these people getting paid $7,000 a post to show their ass. So I know they pissed too. I'm pretty sure that we about to start seeing. You see how many conservative shows Max Blumenthal has been on over the last few days? Like it's not.
Because he's been breaking that story with Kenneth Owens regarding Israel. So they they are way more receptive towards hearing our arguments. And this is anecdotally, but there's a ton of these libertarian accounts, like right-wing populist accounts, who never in a million years touched me. But I be seeing them like and retweet me now. Like I be on some anti-American communist shit, and they be like, I'm like, what?
It's okay now. It's okay.
Crazy, dude.
We can retweet him today.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's hard wrap. We'll keep going forever. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to do this again maybe in another few weeks or so. We got a lot of work to do, but it's always great to form a Voltron like this. Always great to have my Hotspot brothers live with us. So make sure you guys check us out on our main account here, Hotspot on X. You can see all the videos that we make with David and Niko House. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday with Aaron Good. Make sure you guys support us, like and share the stream. Have a good one.